What have you been getting out of this? What have you have found when you've been taking action? What's been the result as a byproduct of that? Because when we look at that, this is the quick action challenge. This is a 21-day accelerator to get to your first 1,000 euros. And we want to see how is it going for you. So while we're waiting for everybody to jump on,
let's get a couple of shares, guys.
Yeah, let's just get a couple of shares. If you want to jump on your mute, unmute yourself. Share what's been going on in the chat as well.
And Renee, you there?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, considering I'm in bloody Melbourne.
Oh, well. And so how's the training going for you so far?
Yeah, awesome. I'm absolutely loving it. I've printed out this calendar and I'm scheduling everything around it because I'm so committed to this. And I just feel like every day is just like amazing. So I can't wait to get the actual device. Yeah, I'm just loving the vibe already.
That's great. That's great. What's been your biggest takeaway so far? It's been a week now.
I think when you said something last week about believing to receive, I wrote it down. When you believe it, then you'll receive it. And, you know, following the actions and how simple it can be as well. It's just, I absolutely have the belief in the product, and I don't even have it yet, but yeah, even just the experience I've had from remote and a one-on-one thing with Claire, yeah, it's not often I'm speechless, right? But I actually am. But it's the whole, I get so much out of every session. So
amazing. And so what are some of your goals? Like what made
Munich.
you want to get to Munich?
Hell yeah, like I will be there. It's happening already.
Yes.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just a bit excited. So you said what? Sorry. So what were you going to say?
Yeah. What do you want? You've answered it perfectly. What are you wanting to get out of this training? And so obviously the Munich and anything else that you're wanting to get out of this training?
I'm just totally open. You know, being a therapist and a coach as well, I'm just trying to be open that, you know, this is all fresh and new stuff, and not be, you know, oh, I know all that shit already. Yep. So I'm just trying to, yeah, just open and go with it. And you guys have done it. So just to follow your path.
Yeah.
Did I answer the question? Like, is that?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Really excited for you. And you're in Melbourne. So anyone who's in Melbourne, definitely reach out with Renee and connect. If you're allowed out of the house for longer than an hour, maybe go catch up.
Kind of went anyway outside the 5K zone, like whatever.
Leave your phone at home. We'd love to get a couple more shares, then we're going to get into this. So who's new and hasn't shared before? We'd love to know how the training's going for you so far. What's the one takeaway in the last week?
Not
Rio?
like that.
Who have we got? This is where you guys unmute.
Shared. Yes, Hendrik.
Well, this is Luna, this is Hendrik. Okay.
Yeah. This is Hendrik. What's up, guys?
Welcome, welcome. I loved your video in the group.
Yeah,
well
that was
done.
awesome. Awesome story sharing.
Yes. What I am loving about this training is the structure, and that is something that, can you hear me?
Oh, good.
All right. So I am loving the structure that every day there is a layout of what we need to do. And that is something that I am applying on the course and also in my personal life, because I was lacking of a structure. So day by day, do this, do that, follow that. And it has given me a lot more clarity on how to join this community and how to work with healing, because I was very overwhelmed before. How can I do this? And now that there is like a roadmap, it's amazing. So that's what I wanted to share.
Excellent. Fantastic. And so what are your goals? What's the one thing that you want to get out of this training by the end of the next 2 weeks?
That my structure is very solid, and then consistency.
Excellent. Oh, super excited for you, and congrats for getting through all the units and things like that. You know, we have been laying them out throughout. They're structured, and yeah, the whole idea is to make it bite-sized chunks every day for you guys to take action. So congratulations, and yeah, super happy for you guys. We'll get one more. One more share. Yeah, who hasn't shared before?
Da, 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 da.
The real Hendrik. We've just muted everyone, so just
there you
go.
Fair enough. No, I really enjoyed the training, and like even with Brandon's favorite topics to unf himself, I think I have to do the same. And I really enjoyed the energy of you, Zach. I think you and me are quite similar, and it's really good being mentored in like on the distance level already. And yeah, that's really what I have to say, and really thank you for doing that and guiding us.
You're welcome.
That's all.
Well, this is
Thank
why
you so
we
much.
created it. This is it, and you guys are taking action. You guys are showing up. So really, give yourselves a pat on the back. You know, pat on the bum,
Thank you.
whatever it is. High five yourself. High vibes. I love it. And I know the last couple of weeks have been quite hectic with Healy and how it's expanding. So all the leaders that are taking action, yeah, congratulations on all your success. This is really just the beginning. We are all the pioneers. We're all the early adopters of this, and we are only just getting started. Like the world, no one knows about what we have right here. It's so exciting. So yeah, we're going to get straight into this. We're going to cover some really cool content today. So please get your pen and papers ready. If you have any questions, please reach out too. But this is some fundamental, I guess, understanding concepts on learning and how to actually accelerate your own learning and to accelerate your own belief and confidence inside of you, so that by the end of this, I guess, call in the next 45 minutes, we want to give you a structure on the 5 main beliefs, as well as some mindset structures to help you, I guess, accelerate to where you want to be. So it's going to help you embody more of these learnings and to really help you become an expert in your own confidence, so you can take action regardless of us. You know, really the intention is that we want to help make you guys self-sustaining as best as we can. We want you guys to go from customers to builders to leaders, to where you're then deciding to lead your own team. And really, it's all a mindset shift. So we're going to go through that mindset shift today.
Yeah, and that's got to be really where the rubber meets the road. Is until you jump into business, it's very, it can be oftentimes seen as something that's very theoretical. But the element of actual business, getting into business, you need to be in it. You need to be in it to win it, right? That's the old saying. And oftentimes, most people are on the fence, kind of thinking, oh, yes, no. Like we spoke about last time, how many of you guys actually thought about getting into business? And all of you guys basically said yes up until that point. And only now have you jumped in. And that's the reality, is most people are being held back from a lot of things that they don't know. And that's what's killing them. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you commit, all your stuff, all your shit is going to pop up. Your BS, your belief systems, you know, your limiting belief systems as to what's really getting in the way. And this is why the journal is so important. The journal is so important to when you start to take action. This is why it's called quantum action, is when you start to take action, you rub up against the surface until you know what limits you, you will never be able to resolve it. And so this is the key. This is the game. And this is where, you know, the 4 levels of learning is what's really important. And in this particular industry, if you think about it, this particular industry is, you don't have to build anything other than a relationship with people. That's it. Like, you didn't have to build this. You didn't have to figure this out, you know, in any business. You didn't have to build it in the sense in this industry, but in order for you to build it, you need to build your own self-belief in it. And what stops people from that is what we're going to uncover today. Because at the end of the day, like, you could be half in and say you're all in, right? You could be half in, but say that you're on. You could show up on all the calls and stuff, but as soon as you get off this call, well, you know,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It's you and that's it. It's you and the people that you're serving. And that's where this really matters. This is where the rubber really meets the road. And so we want to give you the tools and techniques and strategies. Yes, absolutely. We want to give you the mindset, but it comes with a decision. And I'm willing to bet that, look, the call, there was about, 3 times as much on the last one. Interesting, the fact that there's only 1/3 that are on this one. Interesting.
We knew this was going to happen.
And when you get into this industry, there is no barriers to entry because of this very reason. Because it's that it has the high, one of the highest failure rate in the sense of percentages of people coming into it versus people who are becoming successful in it. It's up there with traditional business. 95% of people in network marketing do not succeed, right? But what we covered last week was that failure is merely a form of what, guys? Chuck it in the comments below. Failure is merely a form of what? I can see someone yelling it, but they're on mute.
Everyone's on mute.
Feedback. There we go. Someone was on last call. Love that. So
and the only way you fail is you quit.
Exactly. You just give up.
Most people overestimate what they're going to do in their first year. They're like, I'm going to be a millionaire this year. But then they underestimate what they're going to do in 3 years. They underestimate. So set yourself at least a 5-year plan. I've got a 10-year plan with this. It's like, this is it. We're going to rock into this for the next 10 years. And do you think I show up differently as a result of committing to a 10-year vision? 100%. If I committed to a 1-week vision, I'm going to commit very differently. So really the topic for today is, where do you stand? Yeah. Because I don't know if you know what it feels like when you've maybe, there's moments where someone's like, yeah, like come and do this really fun thing. It's going to be really, really great. Or someone's like, come on, you got to do this amazing thing. This is going to be amazing. We're going to change each other's lives. Let's go. There's a certainty and excitement. There's an energy to this, right? And so are you 1 foot in and 1 foot out? Or are you 2 feet in, right? Or are you 2 feet out? So
everyone's 10 feet in.
Everyone's like
all fingers. Yeah.
I'm like burying myself into the sand on that, and that's how much I'm in it. So that's how much we're in it. So this is what we want to ask you guys.
Actually buried. We're buried in it. But that's the reality. Is like you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep in terms of what's preventing you from coming out. Like you can say it. And the behavior is where this will match, because the person with that is the most successful in this is the one that has the most certainty.
And what certainty is sexy too, right?
Yeah.
You want to partner with someone who's certain.
Yeah.
It's
sexy.
and also sexy. Why not?
Both. Why not both? Come on, stay our stars. So with that in mind, this is where, and I'd like to take this in a direction where there was times when I was not certain in this industry. There was times when I was not actually, I've been in a previous company. I love the product. I had an intention to build the business, but I had the product for 3 years and didn't make a single sale. And this is where we look at people who are jumping into this have that same exact certainty. They know the compensation plan is amazing. The company's amazing. They know the product's amazing. The industry is amazing. But if you don't have that belief in yourself, or if you don't have belief in the industry, then you're not going to do anything with it. And so I specifically remember I had so many limiting beliefs around this industry. I had because of my negative experiences. And my negative experiences were from the fact that my mom tried to recruit me for 3 years for a company that wasn't really aligned, was telling stories. I love my mom. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't even know this was at the back of my mind. Testimonials being told at the dinner table, or people coming over, when and that testimonial being told in front of that person, and I just have to go, yeah, it cleared my skin up really well.
Oh wow!
And that was the reality. I had someone that when I tried to get into a Forex MLM, right? And one of my friends actually screwed me over, embezzled $20,000 from me. And so there was part of me that I couldn't really feel I could trust. I couldn't trust people in this industry. That's why I jumped out of it. I tried it. That's when I started to coach network marketers, because I was just more excited about helping people in that capacity with their mindset, rather than just to help people build businesses that align with their passion. And so I went on my own, right? And I didn't think I was going to get back into this industry. Like, I didn't realize a lot of my experience came from network marketing in the first place. I built, 7-figure businesses with that intent. Like, I didn't even know network marketing existed, but I had already built a compensation plan. I built a culture, I built a team. And so that's how I was able to reframe the fact, like, even coming into Healy's.
So you've already done it before.
I already done it. I'm already in it. I'm already, and so I had to reframe the meaning I was telling myself, the story I was telling myself over and over and over and over again as to what was preventing me from going all in. And this was the stuff that I didn't know. And this is when you're coming into this business, right? There's 4 levels to learning. Guys, write this down. How many is there? There's 4. Yes. So there's 4. You guys want to learn about this because this is going to separate you from the pack, right? Because when you find out what the 4 levels are, and this is going to tie into the 5 beliefs in a second. When you discover this, then you know where you are. You know exactly where you are because now you have certainty because you can put a thing to it. You can label it.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of awareness of where you're at right now and to acknowledge that and not to be confused of like, oh, I want to know it all right now and there's an overwhelm. So it's really going to help you let go of a lot of overwhelm and help you realize your next step of learning.
Yeah. And it's kind of like driving a car. There's, who's ever driven a manual stick shift car before? Okay. Like, have you ever done it after you've already learned how to drive a car? It's kind of like getting back into business again when you started a business. Like,
from an auto.
Yeah, from an auto to a manual. It's a whole new world, right? Because there's so many more things you need to pay attention to. Yeah. And I would like to associate the 4 levels of learning to this because when you jump back into a vehicle, you jump back into a stick shift, there's things you don't know that you don't know. There's all of a sudden there's an extra pedal. There's things that you need. There's gears that you actually have to consciously be aware of, right? So there's this level of unconscious incompetence, right? I don't know what I don't know. Even before getting into that, it's probably more so like, oh, I've never driven a manual stick shift before. What is it like? But then once you start to get into it, it's the you start to realize what you don't know that you don't know. Like, what you don't know. And that's where we come to be more competent with your unconsciousness. Like, in the sense, incompetence. You become conscious to your incompetence, right? So you don't know, what you don't know. And then you start to get lessons on it, right? You start to get lessons. I remember how I learned how to drive a stick shift manual was my friend put me in the passenger seat. He would operate the clutch and I was operating the gears. So I got a feel for it because that was my level of learning. I need to touch things. Like, I need to feel it. I'm a kinesthetic learner, and you're going to need to know how you process information. Some of you might process information through sound. Some of you might process information through visuals. This is why we got the visuals here. Some of you might process information through doing, which is how I process information. And then there's some of you that process information. I think this is Alice. It just needs to make sense, right? It just needs to be, this is why we ask questions. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? And so we want to cater towards all those learning styles. You need to know what's your driving force. And I can put that in, if you don't know that, you can put that in to the 1K group just to get a bit of an idea. But I learned through doing. I learned by doing. So I started to get a realization. I started to become conscious of what I need to do to become competent. And then he put me in the other stick shift. Like, he stuck me in the driver's seat, he got the gears, and then I was playing around with the clutch. So I knew what I needed to know in order for me to become competent at it. And then he threw me in the deep end. And then all of a sudden I was like stalling and all the rest. Hill starts were a mess, but I started to, within a day, actually, it was a day when it was trying to do a hill start on a hill in traffic, Sydney traffic, far out in the city. Oh, no. And I literally just ripped that clutch. I swear to God, I burnt it to death almost. And that was the day that I became unconscious with my competence because I was in it. Like I was all in. There was nowhere else to go. My mind wanted to get out and just push it up the hill. Literally, I wanted to go and ask for help. Like, can you get me off this hill? But when you put yourself in that mode, when you put yourself where you are forced to learn, where there's no exit strategy, where you're in deep, you got to you'll find a way. And this is where you need to immerse yourself. Right now, Tony Robbins is doing like a 3-day, seminar virtually, and he's doing it like immersion,
through Zoom.
Through Zoom. Now we've got bite-sized chunks. You guys got the luxury of actually applying it, because the reality is this is, some of you guys need to take the action and get an experience of it. That's the real immersion. You need to immerse yourself in the experience in order for you to learn and learn about your limits, learn about what is limiting you. And so I think, from your perspective, when you got into network marketing, I'm sure there was a little bit of there was a push-pull, push-shove. Things don't flow straight away.
When I first got into network marketing, like 6 or 7 years ago, I would see these people, I guess, up on stage or at these webinars, on the calls, and I'd see them on social media. And I was just like, how the heck do they do that stuff? How the heck do they communicate so effectively? I couldn't do that. But I knew that like what these people, their lifestyle of what these people were creating and the impact they were making in people's lives globally, I was like, whatever it takes to be that person, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. And I just knew to surround myself with the right people, because we learn so much through osmosis. So I was like, I just need to find these people and hang out with them. The quickest way to get fat is to hang out with fat people, right? And follow their habits. The quickest way to get a 6-pack is to hang out with people who have a 6-pack and do their habits. And
I think I'm getting there.
We're getting there. It's 13-day water fast we did, right? And so it's that osmosis, that accountability, that community. And so this is why we're so big on promoting these webinars and trainings and calls. And now we want to do the remote scans, but with other people, like group remote scans, because you're going to learn best through experiencing it through someone who's obviously been there before. So it's like, you guys are here to learn. We have the call on the Mondays and the Fridays, as well as different webinars. And, we're trying to create the environment but we can't make you swim, right? We can only work with those who are swimming towards us, and that's all of you guys. But it's like, how can we put ourselves in the environment that allows us to learn in the quickest way? And so I just say no to some friendships. I had to say no to some environments that I was associating with, some social groups, because I knew that if I kept spending time with them, I'm going to become like them. And so I was just really, really specific on who I was spending time with. But then it was just that constant those little systems, like what we've been sharing in the units, some other things that we're going to share throughout the next couple of weeks. It's these little basics that are so fundamental. You can't build a house without the basics. You need the tools, you need the concrete, you need the wood. These are fundamentals of building your business, right? Your Healy business. And so the story, the list, these things that we've been going through the last couple of days, these are things that I do every day. They're templates and formats that I fall back on, that in the beginning was this unconscious incompetence. I knew that I was crap at it, but I just knew that I had to keep practicing till now I'm at a point where I've said the story so many times, it's second nature. And that's where I was like, with the story, like with an actor, it's going to take time to embody the script. It's not going to feel normal in the beginning, right? But you'll get better and better and better. And then eventually people are going to look to you and go like, oh my God, you're so effective at sharing. You're so powerful. You're so influential, but it's just that you've put the work in. And so it's following that uncomfortability. If there's one thing you've got to do is like #follow the uncomfortable, right? Wherever you're feeling that uncomfortable, that resistance, you're pushing your comfort zone, is you got to keep going in that direction. That most of society teaches us to stop and turn the other way when we feel the fear. But we're saying feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. So it's pushing through that resistance. We're throwing you in the deep end. We've got a new pool in this house. We just threw you in the deep end. You're gonna splash around. You're gonna look a bit dorky, like splashing around. It's like, oh my God, but you'll probably figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think in society we're we're too
comfortable.
Too comfortable and supportive and like, oh my God, it's got to be perfect. But just, like that's the best way to do it. I'm training my mum on the aura scans right now, and I just put her on a Zoom with like 5 other women, and she just stuffed the whole thing up for 30 minutes. All the line wire, the connecting, the app, the computer didn't work. She's just like, massive fail, haha. But she laughed through it, and they supported her, and then we're jumping on another one today. So it's just like putting yourself in those, that she's learned so much now.
Yeah.
The only reason we've been able to do this consistently, everyone's like, oh my God, you guys are so consistent, taking so much action, is that we've
done a bunch of stuff. Like,
this has been 10 years in the making.
look at this.
Look at
all this personal development. Look at that. This is from Sydney. Look at that. Like, that's
it's like with like weights now with books. We don't train. Right? We just train our mind.
Wow, that was tough.
That's a good workout. So, and I know that you guys have too, and it really comes back to that decision of, really saying, okay, I've been a customer for a couple of weeks or months with Healy. I'm a builder. Maybe you're a builder now and you're like, you shared it with a couple of people, but you want to make that jump to go, I want to be a leader.
Yeah.
I want to be leading my team. And by banding together on social media and in groups and really leading that way, it starts with you first.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to go through the 5 beliefs in a second.
Yeah. Because the reality is this, the obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way.
This is a great book. The obstacle is the way. You can actually get a lot from just reading the title.
And if you guys don't believe that you're a leader, like just from a show of hands, who believes that they're a leader? And this is a leader in your own life, and then it's going to translate into Healy. Wherever your identity is that I am a leader, maybe that's one of your affirmations, right? Maybe the Healy aura scan should be coming up. I am a leader, right? Yeah. What aura, what chakra is that one relating to?
You can put that in the root or heart chakra.
In the heart chakra. So embodying that, and really, writing out a list of 100 reasons why you believe that you are a leader would be...
That's the Dr. Deane method.
It's an incredibly challenging exercise. 100 reasons of why you believe that you're a leader, because you show up to these calls, because you're messaging people, because you've learned the templates, because you've helped people with Healy, because you've just decided, or because just get really clear and write out 100 reasons on why you believe that you're a leader. And in the beginning, you might get through 10 and you're going to be like, I don't know, but your mind is going to create new belief systems just through the process of writing this out. And you're going to come up with new, neural pathways in your brain to strengthen that belief. So that's a really powerful process.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's, look, at the end of the day, it comes down to, like we've been talking about, like how committed are you to this industry? This is an industry where, sure, we've got like all these books. We're never going to stop learning. But at some stage, you need to put away the books and you need to start to take action. And this is what I love about this is, most people want to help people, but they're afraid of people. Why is that? I want to help people. I want to be of service to people, but I'm afraid of people. And so when you're actually in this business model of helping people, just helping enough people get what they want, ultimately you can have everything that you want. It's a business where you can learn while you can earn. And you don't have to go and spend 3 years in a degree just learning, and then go and get tested, like what society tells you. Here, you are going to get tested, and then you're going to learn the lesson. And
earn at the same time.
Yeah, and the amount of money that you make is in proportion to the amount of, 1, people that you can help and have helped, and 2, the people that, how much you've actually learned. Like, how great is that? The more I make equals the more money equals the more I've learned.
Our business can only grow to the extent that we grow ourselves. And so, so very powerful.
So we're going to crack into the 5 beliefs. We've talked about the 4 levels of learning, right? The 4 levels of learning. You can see it as just
recap on those.
Yep.
Unconscious incompetence.
Yep.
Conscious incompetence. So you know that you're crap.
You know that you don't know.
And then consciously incompetent.
Yep. So you know what you need to know, right? You are kind of like you're thinking out loud, right? You're like, oh, yep, I need to put my foot down, put the gear in second, pull my full up, accelerate.
Well, you got to do your list.
Well, you need to do your list.
There's the story.
Yeah.
You know that you got to post. You know you got to do scans, but you're not able to do it because you just still knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you are being consciously aware of what you need to do. But the next jump is where you don't even know that you know, where you're just able to operate. Like I remember I was so fearful of public speaking, like to the point where I would throw myself into situations where I had to public speak and there was no other option. Now it comes second nature because I know all the things. I've practiced and I'm constantly learning myself, but I've practiced the body language in association to telling my story wherever I go.
You're always in it now.
I'm always in it.
State.
Like now it's a constant state of presenting.
Yeah.
Whether you're presenting one-on-one, where you're presenting to a group, where you're presenting on stage, where you're presenting to, a group of people, no matter how many people, like it doesn't overwhelm me anymore because it used to, like, oh shit, 300 people. I've never, that's a new experience. I've never done that before. You spoke in front of thousands of people, right? So it's like, it's at some stage when you start to do the work, all the things that you're doing right now is going to lead you to where this is right now. Like this is the ultimate level for you to be able to take your business to the next level, is being in front of people, ultimately, and being comfortable.
The question to you guys is, how can you accelerate this learning curve so that you become, I guess, learn these lessons quicker? So what are some ways, put in the chat, how can you learn quicker? How can you learn all the skills of Healy? How can you learn what we've been teaching you? How can you learn stuff from the groups and the webinars? Like, what are some strategies that you implement every day on learning? Yeah. So just jump in the comments. So we've gone through those 5 belief systems for 5 different styles of learning. We've gone through whether you're a customer, builder, or leader, and really making that decision, the 100 decisions to be a leader, 100 reasons why, and putting it on a piece of paper, building that belief system. Now we're also going to be talking about these 5 belief systems that are outside of this that are going to help you stand 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Who wants to stand 10 foot tall and bulletproof anytime they share Healy, anywhere with anyone? Can I get a yes? Whoop, whoop. So that's what this is all about. And, these are the 5 areas. So I want you guys to write down and also jump into the comments on this as well. So in terms of the product, in terms of Healy, when it comes to Healy, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being you don't know what Healy is or you don't even know how to spell it, and 10 being you're a 10 out of 10 belief. You know exactly, you're not necessarily how it works, but you know that it works. You have belief that the product has benefit for other people. You've watched the testimonials. You've had an experience for yourself. 0 to 10, where do you have belief with this product? Just everyone jump into the chats. 11. Great. I love it. 11. 10. That's great. And be honest, okay? If 15. You are less than a 10, please be, okay, great. 15, perfect. Well, this is one of the main reasons I was blown away by Healy, right? This is the product is by far, it sells itself. Like Brandon said,
ShamWow sells itself.
ShamWow sells itself. So 9. So that seems like you guys are all on top of that. That is amazing. That's step number 1. And we say 2 things. If you want to be successful within Healy, 1 is you have to love the product. And 2 is you have to have a desire to create more in your life. Yeah. If you don't love the product, you don't have a desire, there's no way you're going to create a business in this. So for someone who put 9 out of 10, right? My only question to you would be, what has to happen in order for you to go from a 9 to a 10 out of 10? What is that missing link? So maybe jump in the comments there and write that in there so we can all learn. This is really great. So the second belief, so that's the first belief in the product. That's a 10 out of 10. Pretty much you guys are all across that. When it comes to the company, right? When it comes to Marcus, when it comes to the leadership team, when it comes to the people behind the scenes in Healy, the customer service, the people behind the scenes of the back office, what level of belief do you have and certainty do you have in the company of Healy? So everyone jump into the comments. Now, this might be a little bit different.
Yeah. And this is where we're going to get a gauge of where you're at from whether you're internally driven or externally driven. Because while these are things that we see in our external, we can start to see what we're telling ourselves. Because if we see, okay, why is it the way that it is? If it's an 8, yeah, customer service too, right? You can differentiate. Like, we are all in the same boat. But if we stopped because of customer service, we wouldn't be here.
So
That's the reality.
The reality is this is a startup, right? The customer service, the back end, the service behind the scenes isn't where it should be, and it should be a lot better. This is why some people are saying customer service is 2 out of 10, a 7. Maybe you're so new to Healy, you don't even know any of this stuff, but just so you know, not to burst the bubble too quick, but the customer service needs a massive revamp. And so this is where there's 2 new back office designs coming in to allow us to choose which one's going to best suit Healy and the company, as well as new, even last night, they did a team leadership call at 1 a.m, Sydney time, Australian time, for the new people coming on board from massive network marketing companies coming on board to Healy to just really work out the back end. And so this is just really important to be aware of. If you're not taking any action, maybe it's coming because your belief in the company or the customer service is really low. And so my question to you is then, what needs to happen for you to have a 10 out of 10 belief in the company? Yeah.
Yep.
And the customer service. And that's why we're trying to do as much as we can to support everyone with all these systems so that, everyone is supported as best we can. But we are not Healy, you're not Healy, but Healy have a lot of work to do, but we can all support everyone together, be really thorough with people that we enroll.
Yeah. And this is where culture comes into it as well, is we have matched the level of lack of customer service with, 100 out of 100 with culture. And that's really where we start to saw a gap, where we could create a sticky culture because of that, because of the gaps. So the gaps is what I'm trying to say is the gaps even give you potential. It gives you an insight to innovate, because the real entrepreneurs in this game, the real ones who are entrepreneurial are the people who would see a gap as an opportunity. Whereas people who are coming into this, it might be an employee mindset where people are waiting for things to happen. And this is where if you wanted to wait until the right time where everything was perfect, I'm sorry, you're going to see everybody else succeed when you come in 5 years later, when everything's perfect, or 2 years later, or 1 year later, whatever has to happen for you to think that it's perfect. That could be a limitation in of itself. So
if you want it to be perfect, then maybe Amway might be a good one. but like Amway's still not perfect either. That's a joke. It was just a silly joke. All right. So that's the next one. And so there's some great webinars, learning about the company. Go to timewaver.com, change it to English, learn about the history of the company, go online, go to YouTube, search Marcus, go watch some of the new webinars that have just come out. They're mind blowing. Okay. So if you're not there with the company, do some research on that. The third belief is the compensation plan. Okay. So where is your belief on a scale of 1 to 10? 0 being you don't know what the compensation plan is. You don't even know that you could get paid with Healy. Or 10, that you know exactly how the compensation plan works and you're confident that you will get paid, you can get paid, and you can earn a lot of money within Healy. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay,
cool. So we got 5. So it's like, well, why is that? Why is that? 8, 7, 10, Alice, yes. And when you start to see the results, yes, exactly. When you start to get paid, the reality that, yeah, it works. Even if you don't know about the compensation plan, how it works, as long as you see money in your account, like, great, I believe in it. But that's, that comes as a byproduct of taking the action. It's like the compensation plan will compensate you for your efforts, for your action. So I see so many people come into this and they want to know all about the compensation plan. They want to know how it works to the depths of the nitty gritty, which prevents them from taking action, which is really just going out there and helping people. It's, I'm very, Alice knows this. I actually claim that I use it to my advantage. I claim that I don't know the compensation plan to a certain extent because I'm so focused on people. Because when you focus on impact, income will come in. When I started to see that this was true potential was when I placed one person on my left and all of a sudden I got a binary commission. And then that way I was like, whoa, I went from, just directs to, twice my paycheck at the time. In my back office. I'm like, I was in Perth at the time when it happened because she was checking her back office and might as well check mine. and yeah, sure enough, I was like, hang on a second. Is that how much they're paying me? This was before they actually projected, this is when they were projecting how much you were earning throughout the week. Now they took it off because the system was just not at that stage. But I was just like, is that how much I'm going to get paid? She's like, yeah. I'm like, are you kidding? I did the conversion to Australian dollars, wherever you guys are in the world. I was like, whoa. And my belief went from like a 5 to like a 10 instantly because of the efforts. Guys, because of the efforts. This was 3 months into hustling my brains out while at a job, while building my side business, while building another side business, and Healy, guys. Like, I was doing 4 things. So you need to be in that mode. And this is where it links to the next part, is your belief in self, right? Your belief in self. Where are you at a level 10 in your belief in self? Because my belief in self was like huge. I knew I could do it. I was in sales. I was doing it every single day. I knew how to sell. I knew what I could do, right? And even if I didn't have that much belief in the industry, I borrowed someone else's belief in the industry. You need to borrow people's belief.
Good point.
If you want to, this is what my mentor always said: borrow my belief in you until you believe in yourself. Borrow my belief in you until you believe it yourself. Far out. Like, what that did for me, that did wonders. That did wonders in the beginning.
So the question is, where do you sit on a scale of 1 to 10? 0 being you don't even, you wouldn't be here if you were 0, right? It's just 0 is you just, and then secondly, we're just on a call, Lizzie. We're just on a webinar, just so you know. And so, yeah, and then 10 out of 10 being that you believe 100% in yourself and able to do this. So just jump into the chat and share with us where you're at on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that 11, 11. Love it. Let's just do it on a scale of 1 to 11. Where are you? So 8. So why? Like, you want to ask yourself, why am I? What is it? What is the distinction, the small distinction within me that's holding me back from actually fully believing in myself and fully believing in the industry as well? Because that's the next one, is what is your 10 out of 10 in the industry? Where are you at?
Yeah. Industry of network marketing.
Yeah. In this specific industry, network marketing, your belief in it, because that in of itself, I'm willing to bet you all have had an experience with let's just call him a underdeveloped network marketer.
An amateur.
Not a shit network marketer, underdeveloped. We've all had experience, yes? Yes. I know I have, right? And so we at times carry that belief, that person, that experience into the interactions, because some of you don't want to be that way. But where focus goes, energy flows. If you're focusing on, I don't want to be like this person, unconsciously running a story, I don't want to be like this, I don't want to be like this, what do you think you're going to project out onto? What's the energy? What's the unconscious focus? And so at one time, like, look at you guys. At one time, you didn't believe in the industry. And yet here you are. At one time, all of you said no. All of you said no to this particular industry, to the particular person, to the opportunity, network marketing. Yet here you guys are. And so we want to start to dig deep in that. Like, where are you at a scale of 1 to 10 in the industry? And if you're not a 10 out of 10, what needs to happen in order for you to feel that way? So,
good question.
We'll get to that in a second. How did your perspective change? But I just want to see, where are you guys at?
This is really powerful, guys, and thanks for the honesty here. And how is this making you guys feel? By the way, is it good to know that there's only 5 levels of belief, and by just strengthening those areas, you're going to have more confidence to share this? And it's such a great way to then, if you're enrolling new people, say, hey, like, these are some 5 beliefs. Let's help coach you through this. Here's some resources. Let's build you up together. It creates a really nice foundation on where to train and to where to really build everyone up. And so, Yeah, this has really helped me. You know, in the beginning, I had to get clear on the product and to get clear on all these different parts for me to feel confident to share that. You know, I needed to start drawing. I drew out the compensation plan. You know, I wrote out my story. I started sharing my story. I was developing my story and writing out notes at the same time. Like I was always with the mode of like, what I'm going to learn, I'm going to share that. In either now or in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, there's going to be a point where I'm going to have a team and I'm going to want to share that. So how can I keep it simple so that when people come on board, they go, oh, well, if these guys could do it, like I can do it. You know, we want to have the new people come in to go, I can do that too. And this is where creating these foundations and these simple systems. So, you know, you don't want to be the expert in Healy or the expert of this, because it's about building other people up and it's about helping everyone just do that little bit more, you know? So that's why you guys are here. And so yeah, giving you guys more certainty around that is really powerful. So the intention and the focus for your home play would be to, if you're not a 10 out of 10 in those areas, what needs to happen in order for you to be a 10 out of 10, and then to actually find the resources, go out there, find them, and then also do a post in the group and say, hey guys, I was a 5 out of 5 for my network marketing knowledge last week, but I've just found some information. It was this, this, and this. And now I'm a 10 out of 10. And if you can share that experience, share that post into the 1K group, so people can also learn that as well. It might be for the product, might be for the comp plan, might be whatever it is. It might be you're not used to, you don't know about the network, you don't know about the compensation plan. So you might print it off. You might actually take some notes, right? And put it on another piece of paper. And then you might do a video of yourself going through and actually drawing it out and say, this was my process in increasing my level of understanding. And so this is more hands-on. This isn't something we can't just give you the answers to everything all the time. And this is where you'll then discover it for yourself and you'll own it. And you'll, like, if we just gave the answers to everyone, like, it's like when I used to do health coaching and I used to give them all, like, this is how you do the training exercise. This is the documentary to watch. These are all the recipes. Like, if you give everyone everything, might be too much, but then they don't actually own it, right? They don't own the experience. So it's kind of like just bite-sized pieces. You're going to learn more through this training, through your own process than the training anyway. Yeah. And to build up your own belief. Yeah. And that's you have the answers. You know, Brandon talks about, you are the gold. Yeah. You know,
you are the gold. This isn't the gold. This that's not the gold. The money, that's not the gold. The people, no way. The people, they're not the gold either. You are. So it's within. It's within. When you ask yourself, where is the gold, right? Ultimately, you can raise all of these in terms of product, company, compensation plan, network marketing. That is all irrelevant if you don't believe in who. If you don't believe in self. If you don't find that gold within. And that's why, you know, Zach's talking about responsibility and taking ownership. That process that we walked you through the other day, when I was talking about organizing, attracting, delivering. 3-step process my mentor walked me through, blew my mind, because all of a sudden I started to uncover that there was a blueprint. You can see how many books, there was so much how to, and I was like wanting to find out how do I do what I do best? What's my authentic energy that I bring to the table? Because everybody has an energy to business, and not everybody has the same strategy that's going to work for them. Someone's going to work best in a speaking structure where they're speaking about it. Someone's going to be working best from just making phone calls. Someone's going to be working best from, striking deals with leaders. That's my one. I'm really good at just attracting leaders. I don't have many, but I have quality versus quantity. And that within of itself is, I built, an incredible organization of people, and I continue to build because of the fact that I was able to attract leaders because I stepped into my own leadership. You see, leaders attract leaders. You guys are going through what's called a leadership development phase. How you lead yourself is the most important person you need to lead first. Because when you start to reciprocate that in of itself, where you start to take what you learn in here and apply it out here, people will start to respond. And how you treat yourself is how you're going to teach other people how to treat you. And so if you don't bring that into business, my God, like, you're just going to get walking all over, because You got to try and please. Patterns are going to get in the way. And like, I don't want to project this onto you because this is my own personal experience, but on some level, there's going to be an element where part of your programming from your past is going to get in the way of the present. And if you don't let it, like if you don't catch it quick, you'll let it disrupt your future, because there's a war at stake. There's a war at stake in your current self and your desired self. The person you were, or the person you are in the past, and the person you can become. And there's so much potential within this industry. There's so much potential within you. But until you actually find that, like, you're going to start to see it from the external, when we need to start to build it within. Everything else will just take care of itself. So who's excited? I love this. Woo-hoo! Like, who said, like, seriously, this is a leadership development phase. We need more leaders. Like, the world needs more leaders. The world needs you. Think about that. You don't need the world. You don't need the whole world. Like, people, it's so backwards in business. Where like, you are paid on your ability to serve. Yes, you are paid for your ability to build a massive thing. But when you become more, you go from a phase of being dependent, right? Like, there's things that you don't know. Getting on these calls like this, getting on your, getting into your uplines, three-way chats, putting people in front of your people, the person that enrolled you, getting onto the webinars, seeing the language, getting onto the videos. Cloud your world as much as possible with what you need. That's going to help you accelerate from being dependable, like dependent, to dependable, where you can be dependent on. Well, all of a sudden people can actually rely on your ability because you've built yourself up so much. And no matter what stage you're at, whether it's in this business, it doesn't matter where you're at. This is a fundamental key, because there's going to be things that you don't know about this business. That's just the reality. What the hell is frequency therapy? I didn't even know this existed until a year ago. And like, not even a year ago. I knew there was energy. Like, I knew that was like healing modalities from like esoteric people that did that. But to come from this kind of way, So you need to put yourself in that phase where you are soaking up everything like a sponge. And that the people that are swimming towards us, like you guys, jumping on these calls, jumping into the units, taking action, sharing your results, and asking for feedback. Man.
And when you have a team now, and as you've started to enroll people, have those people come along the journey. Ask them, hey, I've got this call that I'm going to do. Do you want to come on and listen? Or, hey, I'm doing this webinar. Come on and share your story. Like, you got to be really helping support, give that opportunity and environment to jump into the deep end and really help them out. Really, the best thing you guys could do would be go and shoot your own webinar. Like, no one was even doing webinars when I shot it, whenever I started them. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And I just started to share my story, and I didn't even know what the slides were, but I didn't care. And I just kept clicking and shared my story, because my story was authentic to me. And then I just read off some of the slides, and I shared some testimonials. And it's if you really want to grow quick, go do a webinar this week. If you want to grow quick, go do an event this week.
Yep.
Put it on Facebook, commit, go do it.
Start before you're ready.
Just start before you're ready. You're never going to be ready.
You're never going to ever be ready. Like, I take it back to when I was in that math class. Like, I was not ready to start business when I was 15 years old, but I had an idea. Like, I was a 15-year-old kid wanting to start a boat party, and I had no friends. Like, are you kidding? I was not ready to get into business. And so the reality is you have a vehicle that's already built for you. So you are more ready than I ever was 15 years ago.
You guys can do this.
You can do this.
Borrow our belief.
Yes.
Here, have it. So I want to ask you guys a question. Where do you stand? Right? Just to cap this off, to summarize, where do you stand? Are you 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 2 feet out, 2 feet in? Where do you stand? We've gone through the 4 different levels of learning. So the unconscious incompetence, which is?
Where you don't know what you don't know.
Don't know what you don't know. The conscious incompetence.
Where you know that you don't know shit.
The conscious incompetence.
Where you're starting to know what it is you need to do to master it. Where you're like, oh, yep, I need to do this and that. I need to get my list, all this kind of stuff. So
got it. Like the webinar.
I know I need to do it, but there's part of you that still,
Got it.
there's the things that
You still don't even know about it.
you still don't really know how to do it, but you're doing it. You're like, okay, I need to do that. And it's clunky, right?
Yeah. And then the last one is the unconscious competence.
Yeah. And that's where you're just, this is mastery. That's where you've mastered your ability to do that thing, to do what it is you are called to do, that skill set, whatever you are investing in, whether it's presenting, three-way calls, let's make it more practical to this business, outreach, like aura scans, all these things that move the needle forward. We didn't even know remote scans existed until 2 weeks ago. We knew it existed, but we didn't have an experience of it. Like, we knew it was there.
No one showed us. We just did it.
But we just, we built our business off aura scans. We scanned 100 people each. We went to events and we're just like, hey guys, one of your aura.
And now you can sit at home in your underwear and do them anywhere globally.
Yeah,
why not?
Do it with, like, literally, I've given, and I might want to post this into that group. I've given a template and make it yours, but I've given an outreach template that's authentic to me, that allowed me to reach out to people within my network, and coming from a place of service. If you don't have your resonance yet, get your upline to do it. It's not a matter of resources, it's your level of resourcefulness. You got to find a way. There's always a way.
I love that. Thanks for posting all that in there, Alice. I love the vibe in there. And so, yeah, in terms of where are the webinar slides, they're in the 10K group. And we can also upload them into the 1K group. But yeah, we'll put the slides into the group. Then we also went through the 5 beliefs. So it was belief in the product, belief in the company, belief in the compensation plan, belief in network marketing as an industry, and belief in you doing network marketing. Yeah. So it's your ability to do that as well. We spoke about your action for this week is that if any of those areas are less than a 10 out of 10, take action today and right now after this call to go find the answers, and then write a post into the group saying, hey, my network marketing knowledge or my product knowledge was 5 or 6, or, my belief in the customer service was this, but I then found it out and I called up and I had a chat to the person. Like, I called Germany once. I was like, I need answers. Because of COVID, you can't do that at the moment. But yeah, I really have gone out of my way to build that connection because that's helped my belief, and that gives me certainty to share this as well. So what is it that's causing uncertainty in those areas, and what have you done to resolve that and to boost your belief? Post that experience into the group because other people are going to learn as well. Yeah. Excellent. That's pretty much it.
Just to answer some questions now that we're at the end of this. Anybody else have any questions that want to make sense of this, please? But Fatin, I think I pronounced your name right, I hope. To answer your question about unconscious competent man saying like, I just do it and it happens, that would be discouraging. Like, man, I don't have it in me. I can't do it. I'm not like him. That's where people like us, we're telling stories of when we were incompetent, when we did suck. I've sucked eggs so many times. Like, I just didn't, I had to go through that. And so when you're at a certain level, take yourself off the pedestal, because people like you said, people will become more relatable to you. And that's not our, it's within our story that is laced in that should show a progression of how you present this, where you can make this easy, effortless, and anybody can do it. Your story should dictate that. Your story should not put yourself up on a pedestal. I've done that many times, and I've heard that same thing. Oh, I'm just not like you. I'm like, well, I'm a work in progress. I'm still working on myself. And so nothing's perfect. If somebody's trying to position themselves as perfect, like, I just do it, and then they're telling a lie. So, and also, is there any other questions, by the way, before we jump off? Does that answer your question for starters?
In terms of if you don't have a device for the webinar, I would say maybe jump on a webinar and share your story of why you are excited before maybe you do a whole webinar on the device if you haven't got it. But that's just that's what works for me. But if you're like, I just want to do it, I'm so excited, let's go. I know people who have done webinars without having a device. So it's your excitement, your energy that's most important. And then you have your upline of the team, and we can jump on and support you as well.
Yeah, that's where you get your upline to help you with this. And this is where you can earn while you learn. Cool. Any other questions? There's no questions. All good.
Amazing, guys. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Just put your best thing in the chat. What was the one thing that you got out of tonight, today, this afternoon, wherever you are? What was the one thing? We'd love to know what your biggest takeaway was. So, yeah, we've got some incredible training the next couple of days.
Yes, we're going to be covering.
We're only just getting started.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit more about price versus value. A lot of people coming into this off the promo. And really, that's going to be a very integral point because most people, if they are believing that they can only sell within promos, you are going to be in a reactionary way of the business. You're not going to be you're not going to have that belief in self because you're going to be depending on a promotion, which is depending on, you know, something outside of yourself. So we'll be covering that. We're going to be covering more things on the 7 skills.
We're going to be going through how to host an event.
Yep.
I'm going to how to share Healy offline.
Yep.
As well. You got 3 awesome trainings. What are those topics?
There's plenty. There's too much to cover right now.
Exciting stuff.
But
I might do a training on how to run a webinar too. If that might help you guys out too, because I think that's really powerful.
Sweet.
So yes, getting your head around the 4 stages of learning, finding out where I need to focus my learning, the inner work, asking for feedback, asking for help, super important. Tomorrow's training, all the trainings Monday, Thursday and Friday are 11 a.m. Sydney time. So tomorrow we'll be going through the remote scans. I'm going to be running you through how I've been doing those. We learn through osmosis, fun, and yes. So thank you guys for your commitment. Super excited for every single one of you. We'll host this call again, private call next Thursday as well.
Awesome, guys. Continue, to your constant, never-ending improvement.
Thanks, guys.
Get a quick selfie.
Thank you.
Put your cameras on. Love to get a
Everyone
selfie.
wave, high five.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, guys. Awesome. Go forth.
Have an amazing day.
Have an amazing day.